I'm going to take a break from the transfer talk for a few minutes because I do have 5 or 6 more transfer stories to go through. But I promised at the start of the stream that I'd give you guys a breakdown on the likes of Julian Ward and who works behind the scenes for Liverpool, what they do and how they may impact Arne Slot's time at the club and of course the summer transfer market. So, Julian Ward. His job title is FSG Technical Director. Now, there's a more in-depth version of this on the Echo's website if you want to go and have a read of it for yourselves. It's one of the best pieces I've seen them put together in a while, actually. So do go and check that out if you would like. Like Edwards, Julian Ward returns with a different role and a fresh set of responsibilities, having accepted terms to come back on board as FSG's Technical Director. Ward's extensive contacts book, particularly in the Portuguese region, will be used to help identify the best path forward as Fenway go about adding to their stable. Ward will reportedly be tasked with overseeing the development of players within the FSG stable of clubs, including at academy level, while also the loan departments. Having previously served as the club's loan and pathways manager before moving into the sporting director job in 2022, following a soft launch into the position as his assistant, the highly regarded Ward will once more be answering to his former boss, an FSG employee, Mr. Michael Edwards. So that's a scope of what we can expect from Julian Ward. The interesting one for me, though, is Pedro Marquez, who FSG have brought in as their Director of Football Development. This is the guy that we brought in from Benfica. This says Marquez arrived from Benfica to fill the role of Director of Football Development, where he led on coaching recruitment and overseeing a youth structure for the Lisbon Giants. A key part of Benfica's operation is to develop players to the point where they're able to bring in huge sums of money when they leave for bigger European clubs. And the Portuguese have become one of the elite selling clubs on the continent over the last decade through the departures of the likes of João Felix, Ruben Dias, Darwin Núñez, who moved to Liverpool for an initial £64 million 2 years ago. Marquez, who was sounded out in February, had previously worked at Sporting Lisbon, Manchester City, City Football Group. He shares a good relationship with Julian Ward and was hugely helpful when arranging a friendly between Liverpool and Benfica B prior to the 2019 Champions League final. Now, a couple of things about that stand out to me. Some of it is good, but again it screams to me developing players to flog them on in the future for profit. That's not the type of club Liverpool should be. If that's what they want to do, we have problems. I'm all for developing young lads and bringing them into the first team and establishing themselves and keeping them. But I don't want us to become a selling club ever. We should be a destination club if we're serious about winning stuff. Now, one of the most important people for me is Barry Hunter, Liverpool's chief scout. I'm going to tell you his remit now. Liverpool's chief scout is a former Northern Irish international defender who was born in Coleraine and played for Crusaders in his homeland before moving to Wrexham in 1993. Reading bought him for £400,000 3 years later. Blah, blah, blah. In 2012, Hunter joined Blackburn Rovers, and then as a senior scout in 2006, he did a similar job at Norwich City before moving to Manchester City in 2008. He was City's chief scout for Italy, Switzerland and Russia. Hunter was recruited by Liverpool as their new chief scout in 2012, at the same time as they snapped up Dave Fallows. At Liverpool, he follows up recommendations from regional scouts and draws up detailed reports on players who Liverpool are tracking. Dave Fallows is another one that I think you should pay attention to here, because he's the head of recruitment at Liverpool, one of the most important people at the club. Poached from Manchester City following the appointment of Brendan Rodgers in 2012, Dave Fallows is Liverpool's head of scouting and recruitment, responsible for coordinating the club's worldwide network of scouts with regards to potential targets. He works closely with Barry Hunter, the club's chief scout, to attend matches, gather information and compile detailed player reports which are assessed by Edwards and others. Speaking in 2017, Jurgen Klopp credited Dave Fallows and Barry Hunter with playing key roles in the decision-making to sign Mohamed Salah from Roma. The scouting department was really behind me and wanted to do it earlier so that nobody could jump in, he said. We were sure he could help us. Michael Edwards, Dave Fallows and Barry Hunter, they were really in my ear and were on it. Come on, Mo Salah, he's the solution. So there you can see how important he is. Those guys were the ones who changed Jurgen's mind, from Julian Brandt, who Jurgen wanted to bring in, to Mohamed Salah, who I think it's fair to say came in and absolutely, tore it up with Liverpool. Last one I have for you guys before we get back to transfer talk is Will Spearman. Spearman replaced Ian Graham as Liverpool's Director of Research last summer when the Welshman left with Ward. The American is head of small teams who work with mainly geared towards establishing the right players to look at in the transfer market. Little is known about the day-to-day operation, and interview requests for Will Spearman are always politely declined. So there's a bit of a background here for the people who work behind the scenes at Liverpool. Now, of course, we'll see new coaches and stuff come in as well, but these are the brain trust behind the football club when it comes to transfers and tactics and scouting and data. They're the names you should be getting to know. Sounds like we've too many cooks in the kitchen. No, genuinely, that's not unusual. Because each one of those people that I read out have a different remit. So, for instance, the likes of Michael Edwards and Julian Ward and Pedro Marquez, they're not solely working at Liverpool. They're looking at all of FSG's footballing operations. So it would be the likes of Richard Hughes, Dave Fallows, Barry Hunter, Will Spearman and others who will be solely just focusing on Liverpool.